in general, like what are you interested in? So you were talking about like the Nation of Islam, right?
Oh, that's like, bro, that's just like a meme. I just like telling people about that because I think it's funny.
Right. No, that's
Um,
that's fine. I
you
mean, I think having interests is what makes you interesting, you know?
do you know what the Nation of Islam is?
I only know through like Muhammad Ali was like a follower of it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, the Nation of Islam teaches that throughout the course of human history that there has been a succession of mortal gods, each of them a black man named Allah, who the first of whom
Yeah, like I'm okay, okay.
created.
Listen, I really like disagree with that because I'm a Muslim myself, and like we literally have a chapter in the Quran or surah. It says, um,
Oh
وَلَمْ
yeah,
يَكُنْ
no,
لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. It means like there is nothing else like him. Okay, like
I'm
Allah,
not
there's nothing like
I'm
Allah.
not looking I'm
Yeah, I know,
not
but like
talking.
we
See,
can
that's
already
the
refute their
thing, is
entire
what
belief
I'm
system,
talking
like
about is
because
not
they can't say that they're
the
Muslim
nation
when
of
they
the
contradict the
nation of
Quran.
Islam has almost nothing to do with Islam itself.
Yeah, yeah, it has
That's the
nothing to
thing.
do with Islam. It's not an Islamic belief.
It's like assuming that Scientology has something to do with science. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Um, but yeah,
What's your
so
like background of study, dude?
just wait. I just
Okay,
wanna
sure,
go
sure.
on about this because this is great. It's absolutely like insane
By the way, guys,
that
this guy's
people
pretty
believe this.
iron
So
iron
the
X.
nation, so they
He's
believe
very
that the
INFJ
first of whom
coded.
of these mortal gods created uh the earliest humans, the Arabic speaking dark skinned tribe of Shabazz, whose members possessed inner divinity and from whom all people of color descend. And it also maintains that a scientist and member of this race named Yakub created the white race through a process called grafting, which is often used on like plants to like either create new species or help other species breed by basically literally tying plants together,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like their cells will just naturally bond with
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
You can do that with like
Um,
potatoes and tomatoes, can't you?
yeah, exactly. And like they maintain that like white people were created through this way and that they didn't have the inner
Wait, wait,
divinity
wait.
that the people
Hold
of
on, what?
Shabazz has.
How did white
Yeah,
people get
this
created
is
that way?
like, yeah, white people okay. This is So let me go to the specific. This is Yakub, by the
What the?
way.
What does that mean, bro?
The fiction of Yakub from Dwight York's The Holy Tablets, circa 1996. Um, so yeah, he gathered followers
Man,
and
this is the
began the
craziest thing to
creation of the white race
believe.
through a form of selective breeding referred to as grafting on the island of Patmos. His followers continued the process after his death. The white race created the white race was created with an evil nature and were destined to rule over black people for a period of 6,000 years through the practice of tricknology, which ended
What?
in 1914. Um, th- this whole like this cult thing was created by this guy in the 30s in Detroit. They also believe that he is the he brought this to Detroit, not only claiming that all this was real, but claiming that he himself was the final Allah, the final mortal god of this cult religion thing.
Right.
Um and that he was also destined to one day after his death return aboard a spaceship named the Mother Plane or Mothership to wipe out the white race and establish a utopia. That's a real line here. And like you're like, okay, but this is like a Wikipedia page and whatnot. But like
عيري بوجهك انت ما عارف شو على
if I
الاسلام.
go to
No, what did you say?
Nation of is Yeah, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, this is a Wikipedia page and it's not like reliable." They have a fucking website.
يا اخي شوف هذا مش عارف شيء على الاسلام والله.
No, he's
مش
not. He's
عارف
not
ولا
saying
شيء.
this is Islam. He's saying this is some deviant cult thing.
Good afternoon.
ايه
Yeah.
بس ما في شيء صح فيه يعني ولا شيء.
Yeah. He's saying there's nothing right about their religion.
Yeah, these are crazy people that believe that white people were created by black people 6,000 years ago.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fuck did I join in on? What the hell?
No, have you never heard of this? The Nation of Islam and our great our creator Yaqub. Are you white?
I'm not white, no.
Okay, well then never mind. Then this doesn't apply to you.
I'm white.
This is
Okay,
not apply
then
to me, I
then
guess.
this is your creator. This guy created all white people 6,000 years ago.
Yeah, hell no. Look at that. They look like my
That
fucking
sounds
thumbs.
stupid.
Stupid.
Maybe I should leave
That's
this
calling
call.
me
See
stupid.
what people know.
My friend, that shit
Just
sounded
get to it as
stupider
well.
more than my cousin.
I wanted to talk to this guy though.
What is
This interesting.
stupid?
He fucks his cousin.
Let me on the joke, guys.
Yeah.
I
Will
don't know,
Klabowski, what's your
'cause-
Myers-Briggs type?
My brain type is retarded. Please don't ask.
Like MBTI?
ENTP?
Oh,
You're an ENTP. Oh, really?
The
Oh, okay.
creator of white men. The creator
It
of
used to
white
be
men.
ENFP, but
The creator,
I
not white man,
retook
it is
twice
white man.
with a
Not
gap
white
of
man, white.
like somewhere between 6
My
and 9
bad, my
months
bad.
Right.
I was so
within the past
excited.
year.
I feel like I would have been like an
I
ENTP as a
actually
kid. Or like that's how it would have looked like.
I actually retook it just for accuracy's sake, like less than a few months ago.
Right. I
Sounds
usually get
pretty
along with
black propaganda.
ENTPs. I feel like.
Well then good, because that means we'll likely get along. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
me.
I got a lot of different
Um,
ideas about things. That's why like I like to discuss ideas.
Why does this shit
I'm
not
just
upgrade,
laughing
man? What
about
the
this.
shit?
This I just think is like hilarious.
Right. Okay. You
What
didn't
is
actually believe in it.
hilarious? Let me know.
No.
Let me
No.
know.
I just like telling people about this because like I think it's really funny.
Yeah. I think it's already
funny,
it's already
bro?
contradicting the Quran. It's already goes against Quran. Like as a Muslim, I'm very cognizant of that fact. So.
It doesn't just contradict the Quran. It contradicts the Bible. It contradicts the Torah. It contradicts everything about the evolutionary theory. Like it contradicts literally everything about everything.
Okay,
Like,
but the evolutionary theory is just a theory. I mean, we have no proof for.
that
It's
is
stupid.
that is just a theory. But like
It's a game theory.
Islam is just a belief
It contradicts.
system.
It contradicts the Quran itself. So that's why they can't claim it's Islam when it goes against the Quran, basically.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called the Nation of Islam. Actually, that's like a really
I died.
It's probably just to
Really
get
good
followers like, in the
question.
meta analysis. Probably just to get followers from Islam. Like they get deceived and then they join.
yeah. Although the thing is that like this was mostly targeted at like Black Americans, like
Right.
African Americans.
So what I like about ENTPs is like they're pretty good at pattern finding, typically, but like and they also rely on logic, which I kind of like. But at the same time, I feel like you guys don't pay enough attention to how other people might be feeling or like thinking, unless you study psychology as an ENTP.
Okay, I don't need the psychoanalysis.
No, I'm
man.
just saying. Like I've noticed this pattern with ENTPs. Like they really like to observe pattern finding and they like to find contradictions, using logic, right? Which is a good thing. I feel like more people should do that.
Yeah,
Guys.
exactly. I do like finding contradictions.
Yep.
Am I allowed to say the N-word in here?
I'm Twitch streaming right now, so maybe don't.
Are you family friendly?
I mean, I say like swear words by accident sometimes, but I don't know.
Okay, then I won't drop the N-bomb.
Why?
Because you're Twitch streaming.
You could get like cancelled if you drop the N word. Basically, I would advise you for your own good to not do that.
I got banned from Twitch
Oh, really? Okay.
because.
How's my
of
mic
the-
quality, by the way? You guys can hear me clearly?
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good. Yeah, you got a good mic.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What type do you think I am, Will Klabowski? Oh, you haven't gone that in
Oh.
deep onto the Myers-Briggs types.
Yeah, I don't research like the MBTI like type results
Oh, right.
at in
Okay.
depth.
I think it's trying to understand other people's perspectives actually furthers your own understanding of people, and then like if you think about how most
Bro,
of our
what the
decisions.
fuck is this picture?
He's talking about the Yakub picture.
Oh,
Bro, what
yeah.
the fuck?
Yo, you don't know who this is?
Uh,
This is Yakub, the creator of all white people, and a black Meccan scientist
he's
who
not the creator of all white people.
yeah, he is. He's a black Meccan scientist and he created white people 6,600 years ago.
The fuck is Wikipedia even about? Like, actual the fuck? Oh, fuck.
He also created the white race with an evil nature. And they were destined to rule over black people for a period of 6,000 years.
God created trees, but he's not a tree. Guys,
Well, this God created black or white people, and he's not white. So
he created
black
absolutely
people,
nothing.
and he's
He
not
created a
white, so-
fucking shit on his toilet. Nothing else. Nothing
Created
else.
a
Fucking shit on his toilet. Nothing else. Bro, can you send me that image real quick? Can you send me that image real quick? I have some questions about his forehead. Like, he
Yeah,
definitely
welcome to the chat.
Behind bitte die Fresse.
I didn't know who just joined the chat, but
Instant.
welcome. Oh my god, okay, this is a retarded call. Hold on. Welcome. Oh my god, okay, this is a retarded call. Hold on. Oh, I shouldn't have said retarded. Sorry about that. Okay. I really don't like loud calls like that. Oh my god. Let's try this one.
One person's advice, worry about like other people's advice on like stuff. I'm not saying the advice he gave you is pretty shit, or the criticism he gave you is dog water, but you just don't want to just focus on that one person's criticism. You probably already know this.
Maybe I should add like some
Yeah.
Roblox gameplay
That's just
while
a
I'm
mistake
talking
I
to people.
made many times.
But then it might be
I'm
annoying.
still
if there's,
making the
multiple
same mistake
changing
today.
calls, so.
Yeah, that's why I got a Discord and I
Okay.
have polls
Yeah, welcome to the
going
chat. 2 new viewers.
and
They
you know,
can't hear me
go off
talking,
of
by the way. I'm
stuff
just
like
I have
that,
push to
right?
talk on.
Off the
So,
community.
Yeah.
so basically, I've just been
You have a community
going
then,
around trying to
pretty
type
sure
people
all you
in
need to do is
Myers-Briggs,
just let
just
it grow
trying to
out
like
and you're pretty
improve
much
my
all
own
set.
understanding. I would have thought
Yeah,
the
like how
last
like
guy I saw, he was like pretty
I don't
schizophrenic
know, like
sounding.
3 or 4
For
people in my Discord, but
he didn't actually
I've
believe
been
anything. He was
working
just
on
like
this
finding
thing for
contradictions, so he's an ENTP.
maybe like
That makes sense.
I don't know, 3 weeks.
So another thing.
All right, yo,
do
what's up,
not
guys?
Be afraid. Yo, so mate. Don't be afraid. Just go out and try to promote your shit, cause that's how shit gets big. Contact streamers if you like. Contact. It doesn't really go back on your self image and shit. 'Cause,
Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna let you know I'm live streaming right now, so just in case. But yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's
not
cool.
anything personal or anything, right?
No. It's
All right.
I'm just
You guys need any advice on like relationships or dietary stuff?
Not really.
No. Why not?
Wait, what?
I study like psychology and typology and stuff like that. So I've got like a pretty good understanding of the human mind. Yeah. I talk to a lot of people and ask them like how they think about things. So if you need any advice,
Wait, that's
cool.
that's fucking crazy, man. I just literally fucking like I'm fucking up my relationship
Oh,
right
really?
now for real.
Oh,
And
okay.
like
I don't mind
like
advising
bro,
you and
yeah.
stuff. So like this is like kind of
Bro,
like
I'm
the idea of therapy as well. Like you just listen to somebody and let them talk about their problems, basically, without judgment and with an open mind. Try to understand their perspective. So, like, what
yeah.
you want to start from the beginning? Like, if you don't mind being streamed as well, right?
Streamed as well.
I can like put a voice filter over you if you
Like,
want. I mean, but like they've already heard your voice.
they already heard the word.
Yeah.
Where's this being streamed off to?
Just onto Twitch. I have like one viewer, dude.
Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good, man. Yeah, really, I think it's just me, like things have gotten really, really fucking bad for me, man. Like,
Right. In what way do you think?
and I think so, like me and her, we both have like PTSD trauma,
Yeah.
all these things, right? We knew it was gonna be difficult, but like,
So you think maybe it was like the right people at the wrong time, maybe?
I don't know, but I do
What
know
did you
that
like about her? Like, was it just like physical attraction, or do you have like things in common, personality?
no, it's personality.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I mean,
What did you like about her
she's my
personality?
type. Personality wise, she is the sweetest, softest girl that I've ever met.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, everything about her was just super sweet.
Yeah.
All of the things that I kind of go for in my life, like religion and all these things, and
Oh, okay.
trying to
So
put
you had a
God,
shared value of morality as well, right? From the religion.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
So people, particular people follow, certain same point of views and ways of life and have
Yeah.
the same understanding. So, we're both we're both
Yeah.
Baptist,
I'm
both
Muslim,
Christian.
and my wife is also Muslim. I converted her, so.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's great, man. Great.
Yeah.
I
I got a question for you. So you said like
okay.
you're both Baptist, but were you both like very religious? Like you both followed the religion, like fully?
Fully. So for me, I've had a lot of rough, in and out with religion, but ultimately, I do absolutely believe in a creator, and I absolutely pray, and I absolutely do believe all of it.
Right.
But some things, obviously are questionable, and that's where,
Oh, so you actually have
a lot
doubts
of
in your own
people.
belief, right?
Well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I guess you could say that, but it's essentially the old context of the way of life back then versus now, and so it's hard to translate all
Oh,
that
okay, because
into
of modern society.
now's, yeah, modern society, right? And so that's where a lot of people get
Right.
lost, and that's where they break away from the whole thing because they think
I'll
it's,
be honest. As a Muslim, I've never had a doubt in my belief, and as a kid, I actually like used to look into like debates between like Muslims and non-Muslims. I used to hear both the perspectives and like try to understand each side. I found that Islam was always logically consistent and also had evidence to back up their claims, right? So,
yeah. I have a friend that's Muslim as well,
all
and
right, yeah. I would advise you
yeah,
like to look into the Quran if you want, but that's not what like we're talking about here. We're talking about relationship advice,
Finally,
I
some
guess. So,
peace.
so where do
yeah,
you think the relationship started going sour then? Like what went wrong?
um, it went south whenever I noticed that the the
I'll
actions
respond
did
to the
not
chat by the way.
match the words, right?
Hi.
So
Oh, okay, yeah. So
whenever,
hypocrisy, as in like, um, she does something and it goes against what she said she was gonna do, right?
Hi.
Like broken promises
and
and
it's
stuff like that.
well, it's not necessarily broken promises, right? Like, okay, so before we get into her issues, I want to get into my issues as to why I'm so hyper focused on her actions, right?
Right.
Why me boring?
No, but I think that's pretty
So, like,
normal.
for me,
Like actions speak louder than words, right?
exactly, man. So for me, I got fucked up. All right, I've been jumped, stabbed, shot, all this shit. I had PTSD, trauma, all this
Right.
stuff, right?
Would you say that's like also trust
I've
issues, sort of like tied to that?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes, I would actually consider myself in some light to be paranoid.
Oh yeah. I
All
think you're
right, so
friendly
I
enough, by the way, man.
have zero. All right, I appreciate it, but yeah, I indefinitely think that there's something that's inside of me that just can't see the good in people because I've been burnt so many times.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. That's pretty relatable. Like from past experiences.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I just don't trust people, man. I don't even trust my own dad, my
Right.
own
Yeah.
blood, my own sister, my own grandma. Anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
I trust
Like
her
close
to
people.
a certain degree,
Hi,
right?
hi underscore cruise underscore.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute that girl. Okay. So anyways, um, like what is it called? What do you think it would like take for you to heal and like learn to trust people, or like do you think you need somebody who's very like non-judgmental and like who you can actually trust to not abandon you, for example?
No,
Right.
that's not even
So
that's not
you
e-
actually
so.
like, you think you're okay with like somebody who's actually more stable, but I'm saying like maybe you should actually look into somebody who has like the same sort of like abandonment issues sort of like idea, you know? Like somebody who obsesses over you, and then you'd be more likely to trust them, like to be loyal, for example.
Well, she does.
Oh, she actually had this? Okay.
No, I mean she puts me on such a pedestal, right? Like she absolutely treats me like a king,
All right. But do you think
right?
that's sustainable
And
though?
I mean, so far everything has been sustainable, but then we got into some issues, and that's why we're here. But I mean, yeah, it's just kind of screwed up now. But anyways, long story short, I'm fucked up. I got trust issues. I don't trust her completely because
Yeah.
of everything. Because I don't trust nobody. I literally hate everybody. Right?
Right.
Like I hate you
Okay.
until you prove yourself. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I think what it
Um.
boils down to is that like okay, when we talk about what is paranoia, it's like being open-minded to possibilities, right? And so that's actually tied to intelligence. If you're paranoid, you'd probably be more intelligent. But yes, you have
Yeah.
to also be open to the possibility that like this person is trustworthy, right? That's another possibility, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Her record is pretty much spotless. I mean, I can't say that it's completely spotless, but so far everything is 100%
Yeah,
clean
but
on
doesn't that also
everything.
like couldn't that also add a level of like distrust as in like if somebody's always um acting perfect, always seem like a good person, they never make mistakes, that's like very unhuman actually. It becomes like uncanny.
It does. Yeah.
Are you English? Are you
No,
English?
I'm Australian.
Well, what part of Australia are you from, mate?
I'm from yeah, I know. I'm not agreeing with that guy. I'm saying like you should actually trust some people, but when it boils down to like can you actually trust people? I actually only trust in Allah, to be honest. So I'm a Muslim, so yeah, I'm from the capital city in Australia. Sorry, I was just responding to my chat.
What is the capital city in Australia? What is that
Canberra. It's
called?
called Canberra.
Are you sure you're from there?
Yeah, I'm Muslim. Sorry, I just had to look that. What did you say?
Well, you don't sound. You sound like an Englishman.
I could speak like extremely British if I wanted to, but it's just like most of my I learned the British pronunciations for most things, so yeah. I could also speak like an American if you wanted me to. Like, good morning, guys. My name's Derek from North Dakota.
Anyway, back to the real world.
Yeah, I'm just giving this guy some advice because he said he went through a breakup.
What are you doing, Puffy?
Right.
Wizard Gang. Oh, wait, you from my server?
Ain't life a bitch?
You're drunk again?
Yep.
That's cool. That guy is weird.
Yeah, okay.
All
Yeah, so
right.
like I said, like
if you're ready to,
it is something you can work on, like trust issues, but at the same time, I'm a Muslim personally, and I only trust in Allah. I don't trust in people at all either. But like if you trust in Allah and if you trust a what do you call it? If you only like basically if you only trust in God, right, alone, right, then you can't ever be disappointed because like you didn't trust in people to begin with, right? But you have also something else that you can rely upon. Like, for example, if I feel like my studies are not doing well and like I have nobody to turn to help me with it, I can like ask God like directly. You know, like this is as Muslims, like we make supplication, like dua. It's called in Arabic. It's like we just turn our hands towards God and say like make me better at my studies, or like help me pass these studies. And so like we have somebody to rely upon and trust in, and at the same time we don't fear anyone except Allah. So I think Muslims like are the most free in that regard. Like if you only fear Allah, you wouldn't be able to like what do you call it? You wouldn't be paranoid because you'd be like you're like, well, I have no rational reason to fear them, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same
I
time,
mean,
oh, okay. No, I mean like cuz like okay, there's a guy called Julius DMing me. Yeah, like when we talk about what do you call it? Can you ever trust a human fully? Like even if they're another Muslim, can you ever trust them fully? I don't think you can ever trust a human because humans are fickle. They can like they're indecisive about what they want. They are driven by their emotions. They um like there's no like even if you're happily married to somebody, they could still cheat, right? Because humans like themselves, unless they have their own like severe trust issues, they probably would like um actually being trust like what do you call it? Being trusting is actually okay. I'm eating that guy. Being trusting is actually like no, it's like a dangerous thing because sorry, being trustworthy is a dangerous thing because like let's say your wife opens the door to a man and she's like he's like, let me come inside, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna drink some tea. And so if she believes him, she would actually like let's say he's like a really bad man actually, but his outside appearance was like his outside appearance is very trustworthy and like looks nice, and so he could do like horrible things to your wife, and then that's because of your wife's trustworthiness, right? She trusted in him too much, basically.
yeah, I mean, I kind of get that.
Yeah. So does that make sense? Like, in okay, wait. Sorry, I'm going to read my chat. So he said, "That's a bad outlook, brother. Trusting people is good, man. Within Islam." Yeah. So I trust other Muslims, right? Because we're like good religious Muslims. But when I talk about like, if somebody's just a Muslim and they don't pray and they do like sins all the time, would you trust them or would you not trust them? What do you think, Julius? Also, guys, follow my stream if you think the conversation is interesting. And Cruz, can you accept my friend request? Because I want to discuss with you later. Maybe like we can keep in touch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my background
Sure,
is sort
man.
of like in therapy and like active listening and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, man. I just got done calling like 5 therapists in a row
Oh, all right.
today.
Maybe
Like we're
maybe this is a
talking,
sign from Allah that you're supposed to like.
man,
Yeah.
we're talking like maybe 2-3 hours ago,
Bro,
man, getting
I just got
quotes
up like
from my first therapist.
I just got up like what is it? 44. Hold on. I got up like an hour ago maybe.
Yeah, man, I even went to like therapy discords and they don't have
No.
nobody there.
I
you
feel
know?
like most people in therapy are just like here to make money, and like I am kind of here to make money, but like I'd do it like I would do free advice till like the end of my career because I like to hear everyone's perspective.
Yeah, sure, man. I put faith in God to take away all of my so-called paranoia, right? You know what I mean? Like that paranoia, it's fucking no good. Like it eats away at me.
Yeah, what I was suggesting is that you actually shouldn't fear anyone, and that includes like you shouldn't fear betrayal, because you should only trust in like God, basically.
Yeah.
Like as in
Yeah.
like I mean like unconditionally, like fully like wholly trusted, right? Like because you can trust people in certain regards. Like I trust my friends to what do you call it? I trust my friends to be assholes to me maybe sometimes, but I trust them to also like be honest with me, right?
Hmm.
Like if I'm
Stupid
doing
Americans.
if I'm
You
doing
guys
something wrong.
Americans. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna mute that Bella person. Okay. So like I trust in like my friends to do certain things well, and I trust them to do certain things badly, right? As well. It's like that's about strengths and
Hmm.
weaknesses. Like I've got a friend who's into programming, but like he's pretty bad at memory, and so I wouldn't think that he's very good at his memory is bad, and that's because of like his diet. He eats like Indomie every single day. And so
Yeah.
actually your biochemical nutritional like state is actually tied like intrinsically with your mental health and your emotional health. Like the idea of hormones, your hormones rely on animal like your hormones rely on having saturated animal fats and like cholesterol. So yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any other like questions? Or how about you just tell me more about like your relationship? Like, what other sort of like red flags do you think there were?
So obviously there was an incongruency with your like with the actions and the words, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like,
So
can you give us some examples for that? Or
okay, so let's see. Well, for one instance, um she said, she's a huge like Christian, right? Huge Christian, right? She got saved, she did all this. Got like, like all these things, right?
Mhm.
But then she's really into like poetry and stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so she'll write this poetry, and I noticed that, you know, in her poetry she'll talk about me, talk whatever was
Yeah.
on her mind, whatever, and she'll secretly post it to the Discord that she has. And so sometimes I'll go in there and I'll look at it, right? I don't think she knows, but I look at it because I want to know what her actual thoughts are, because she doesn't really speak about them. Probably because she's too scared to. I've essentially just taken, like I've made it to where I guess she's not safe anymore, right? And I don't blame her. So she can't really feel safe with me anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just a little bit difficult to explain. We have this app, on our phones. I said, hey, you want to share locations? And then it moved on to another app with the locations because it was cooler. I had like the Wi-Fi and all that, and the tracking and all that stuff, and live tracking. So it was cool, right?
Is that because of your trust
But then
issues that you feel like you need to track where your partner is?
well, yes, it was like her idea to begin with.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
hey,
So,
can
okay, right.
can like we use like Google Maps, right? And so we use Google Maps, and that was when we first met, like first month, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then like second month, she like moves in, all that stuff. Got the Google Maps, everything's chill. You know, um, there's a time where she disabled her location on there, and she basically just vanished because we had an argument. Right? She just ran out the door.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Wow, that's loud.
What's your sort of like background if you don't mind me asking, like in study or whatever?
Study,
Yeah, like what did you study?
as in like
What are you,
education,
yeah,
or
what are you interested in? What do you study like in your free time, or what did you do for a university degree or whatever?
I have a information technology. It's associates.
Okay. So IT.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And are you very interested in like how understanding other people's perspectives and stuff?
yes, I love digging into the psychology of things. Like,
Oh,
why
okay.
do people do things and then their actions, like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, people don't do physical actions and then not like have an emotion tied to it. You know what I mean? Like, there's some core thing that's driving the action, right? Right? Like, that's common sense.
Yeah, yeah. So like you want to understand relationships and thought patterns in terms of like cause and effect, basically.
Yeah, and I'm hyper um almost aggressively hyper analytical,
Right.
right?
Have you looked
So
into
the
like
way that
typology,
you
like Myers-Briggs types or like Enneagram or whatever?
yes, I've looked into those. She's looked into those.
Oh, okay. What was your type and what was her type? If you don't mind asking.
What was it? I think it was like a I'd have to go back in the messages, man.
Okay.
It was like I don't know exactly what they were, but I might be able to find them anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. I can try. I try to understand why people do the things that they do, and so the reason is completely unknown. It's like kind of like a puzzle or something, right? And so,
I feel like
anyways,
people
she
can
would tell
eventually
me
be very predictable in terms of like if you understand the. Have you looked into like cognitive functions, for example? Or like also
cognitive
Ocean
functions.
Big Five tests as well, like openness, conscientiousness, extrovertedness, agreeableness, and neuroticism.
Yeah,
There's lots of different
I mean,
categories under those, and so like if you can ask somebody to do a personality test, you can understand a lot about their thought patterns. Sorry.
yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, we've done a lot of testing,
And
and
actually,
she's done a lot of
sometimes what
like,
people
hey,
show
take this.
you, like on the outside, is different to how they internally feel. Like the idea of like the sad clown, like you're depressed but you show a smile to everybody, or like someone like me who's got like a lot of anger issues and angst, like, but I take it out, and then so like I seem like I'm not a very angry person, but I do build up stress very quickly.
Mhm.
And so like you have people who act differently to the inward self, and you have people who, and that also ties to the idea of like the actions being not in line with what they like actually say to you, or like what they wrote in their poetry, for example.
Yeah. So I mean, in her poetry, like for an example,
Yeah.
she consistently feels like like I'm tearing her down, right?
Right. Okay.
Like she's consistently being torn down, right? And that
Where
she's
did
never
that
enough.
thought come from? Like what, based on what?
And that she's never
Where did
enough.
that thought come from?
Based off of, I think it was from how I was raised, because obviously that has some factor to do with how me and her were raised, right? So your parents are going to imprint whatever they had onto you, that from ages, 1 through 4 or 1 through 7 or something like that. And so like her imprint is this, and then my imprint is this, and so um, this is carrying on into like how we have to be compatible in the relationship. And so like for me, love was self-criticism, right? I don't know exactly what her love was, but you know,
So like you think that you
like
guys had
that's
different ideas of love, basically.
yeah, mine's not the correct way.
Why do
I
you
already
think
know
yours
that.
is the one that's flawed, and why is hers not the flawed one?
I see it because I always get I get triggered,
Yeah, what?
right?
Yeah,
I get
what?
triggered. Triggered by her. That's the initial problem.
Hi, can I get some advice?
Yeah, sure. I'm just talking to Cruz right now about his relationship, though.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows a bit of about cybersecurity?
I know about cybersecurity. I do work in I'm a software engineer.
All right, tell me, bro. If I wanna
I can add you to my server.
learn
Maybe
that,
we can just continue this there, Chris.
But yeah, don't interrupt him, boy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that.
yeah.
All
Just
right,
because
man.
these guys might want to talk about stuff.
All right, yeah. I'll do you want me to join
Oh
over
yeah,
there on the
join the PC.
PC
Yeah.
or?
And by the way, if Julius, you want to join, you can join now. Yeah. So like I was saying, sorry, what was your last point?
So last point is like I'm triggered by the words that she says because
What do you mean by
the way that
triggered?
I
Just to clarify.
so trigger as in like
You get upset by
it's
it?
kind of hard to. Yes, yeah, I end up getting defensive, and so when I get defensive, it makes me also want to essentially attack, right? Because I'm hyper aggressive. I come from a
Oh, okay.
violent background,
Right,
right?
right.
I don't, I'm not doing anything physical or nothing. It's all, emotional, just like, you know, stuff like
Right.
that. I would never
But
do anything like
but
that.
you
But
took it out in like verbal abuse or what?
yes, yeah,
Right. Okay.
I do have verbal abuse issue, and that's hard to admit,
Is it like
honestly.
do you like sexualize it or like you enjoy taking out
No.
anger or what?
Well, I mean, when you mean like sexualize it,
Like okay, so there's the idea of the Oedipus complex, right? Or like and mimicking childhood behaviors as well. So let's say like if your dad beat your mom and you saw your mom enjoying it, that's building in your mind the idea that like sadism is actually a good thing. And also like the Oedipus complex, if they beat if your opposite sex child give out like your mom if your mom beat you, that builds the idea that you'd enjoy pain. Like you should enjoy pain in a sexual sense.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up, Julius? I'll put your volume off. I can't hear you that well.
Huh?
Your mic's a bit low.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it louder. To be
You can go to the
honest with you.
settings and like voice settings and put it up.
I've maxed out like everything in my mic. I don't.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. I'll
understand.
just put my own volume off then.
I don't understand why it's so quiet, dude.
I have no idea.
yeah, I mean, you sound all right, but you're just slightly quiet.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's honestly, there is like kind of a dynamic if you want to say like on a, I guess sexually,
Right.
there is a bit of a dynamic. So, I do kind of do the sadistic things, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's all consent, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No, that's no problem. I'm saying like, I don't think you can change those things about yourself. Like if you like to emotionally and like verbally abuse, I think you can stop emotionally abusing, obviously, but like that's about like working through that trauma of like if you were emotionally abused, your response was like to push that abuse onto others, right? As long as you're cognizant of that, and then you're like, okay, wait, I want to be a better person. I want to start being kinder and more emotionally understanding and stuff like that. Because like emotional abuse is never really a good thing, and like women might enjoy it because of their own like daddy issues, for example. But it doesn't make it a good thing for either of the people in the relationship.
No, it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, she I mean, she also is a pretty open. She's like what is it called? Like, what did you say the word was? I
Open-minded.
forgot it. No, it's
non-judgmental.
Where you like enjoy the pain, I guess.
Masochist, yeah, somebody who enjoys pain, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when
So
it comes to physical
that,
pain, okay, like as long as it's consensual, like two-way street, like that. In Islam, we're allowed to beat our wives, right? And I think that concession is there because some people will consent to this sort of like things, right? And because Islam is it's taught as like a universal message, right? And so it has to accommodate for every single person's kinks. Like we don't choose our kinks, for example. Yeah, that's my take. I don't know if it's like a rare opinion to have, but
I mean, yeah, it definitely there is some twist to some psychological things there, definitely, but
Yo, Kai, you said
Uh,
something about pain and stuff in Islam.
Yeah, so we're allowed to beat our wives in Islam. This is in the
Not
Quran, right?
completely though. We're not allowed to hurt them with bruises and such.
Yeah,
That
yeah. Like
is,
I don't mean like actual like what do you call it? Causing bodily harm, like as in like destroying their cells and stuff. I mean like we're allowed to beat them, right? Like it's like meant to be like lightly or like, but like what if the woman is
yeah,
asking
I
for
know
like
it's lightly, right?
yeah, like
But
what
if
if
you
the woman
continue
is
for
asking to
more,
experience some sort of pain from you, right? Like that's there's nothing wrong with
yes,
that because it's not going to damage your
think it's
body
alright.
necessarily.
It's probably alright. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, because like let's say like the woman asks to like feel a hickey, for example. Hickeys might hurt in that sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can give you like the trusted member role. I've got a channel, by the way. It's therapy techniques practically explained. Maybe we should just go through those and you can learn how to be a better listener, for example, and how to understand other people's perspectives better.
yeah, you know,
Do you want to, are you interested in learning that?
yeah. I'd
Okay.
like to
Yeah, so
go through and
so this is the idea in therapy called active listening. So it's a therapy technique which is about showing others that you're listening to what they have to say and caring about what they have to say. This can be applied to all relationships, not just therapist-client relationships, and I recommend you experiment in practically applying active listening in your daily life and see if you're able to achieve positive outcomes. So like for example, would you say that I seem like a good active listener, like I'm paying attention to what you have to say?
yeah.
Yeah, that's because like I'm pretty autistic and like socialization is my hyper focus. So I basically focus on every word people say and I commit it to memory. It's yeah, it's kind of an
Yeah,
interesting
superpower.
way, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems like probably a pretty good way to understand people's like perspective, and like you can also study psychology and like different techniques and like ways of influencing people in subtle ways, like subtle gestures. But you can also just experiment with different ways in your real life. But like we have adult brains, so we should leverage it. Like when it comes to, for example, language learning, we have the ability to study grammar, right? And would you say that like studying grammar would help you learn a language quicker?
Yeah, that's the most difficult part, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so most people just like when they learn a language, it's like, okay, I'm gonna brute force it. I'm gonna just jump straight into speaking, which might be fine. But like if you don't understand how to put sentences together, you might have problems as well in speaking.
What you could do, I think, for learning languages especially, is you learn the basic words,
No, I'm
and then your
suggesting you
brain
learn the
contextually.
basic grammar, how to put sentences together, and then you start
Yeah,
learning vocabulary by speaking to people. If you want to do like if you learn better through speaking, if you don't learn it better through speaking, you learn better through like typing or writing. Maybe you should do that instead. It's like,
I learn better
look,
through speaking, but
yeah, yeah.
if
Then
you
what you should do
learn the
is you
basic
should learn
words,
how you learn, right? That's the important part. Like some people prefer
yeah,
to study textbooks or books, or some people prefer audiobooks, some people prefer. But I think it is important to have like some sort of audio component at the same time as your like for example, audiobooks are a good example. You can combine that
yeah.
with actually reading the words at the same time. Like,
But Kai, there is this theory about if you learn the basic words, your brain uses contextual information
ah,
with
yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
words to
No,
know
but I'm
where they're
saying
connected, and
you're gonna seem
therefore
like
you learn
stupid if you can't
also,
put a sentence together. Like, even if you have the
of course.
vocabulary, basically.
Like that's how I learned English, for instance, when I was
Yeah,
younger.
yeah. But
I
also
learned the basic
some people are not
words,
so
and
adept
then
at extrapolating things as well. Like, I think
yeah.
me and you are really good at like filling in the gaps, right? Because we're probably both INFJs or INTJs. I'm not sure. I don't know if what your type is.
I've never done the
Oh, okay,
personality.
I'll send you a
I
test
think
to do right now. Hold on, you can just tell us
it's
what you got.
very long though, isn't it?
No, this one's 25 questions, very easy.
All right. Anyways, what are we discussing today?
This is just
Nutrition stuff?
about this is Cruz's relationship problem. I don't know if you want to discuss nutrition, maybe we could talk about that. But I was talking with
I
him
want to
first, so
discuss whey protein afterwards.
okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just finish with Cruz. So um,
Okay, dude.
so I want to teach you about like these therapy techniques, but there's also I need to make a channel about this trauma responses. So this is an important concept as well. But I'll explain the therapy techniques first. So reflection. So like I try to apply these and I kind of learned them intuitively, but now I have like words for them basically.
Mhm.
And so reflection, like being a talking mirror. Imagine you're holding up a magic mirror that repeats what someone says, but in a way that helps them see it more clearly. If your friend says, I feel like nobody listens to me, instead of just nodding, you could reflect back by saying, sounds like you feel left out and ignored. Tip, when talking to someone,
Mhm.
repeat what they say in your own words. This makes them feel heard and helps them understand their own feelings better. So do you agree, like, if somebody did that to you, like you said, like, I feel like nobody listens to me, and then you say, sounds like you feel left out and ignored, would you think, like, you think that they understand you a little bit better?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
slightly.
And so, like, these techniques are like they're from therapy, but if you applied them, you could actually manipulate others as well. Like you're like, okay, logically, I know that if I say this, I mean, like, even if you don't feel that way, you could lie to them, and then so that's why, like, therapy and like like being a master manipulator, basically, they're actually like two sides of the same coin. If you learn these techniques, you could use them for good or evil, right? It's just about the type of person you are. I feel like most people want to be honest with their feelings and, like, actually, like, be their authentic self in a relationship, but there are a lot of people who do try to manipulate others. So
Mhm.
yeah. And so, like, what is authenticity in my, like, how do I define that? Basically speaking what's on your mind and saying what you believe to be true.
Yeah, I'm definitely authentic to the
Yeah.
core.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing. And also, like, I would say, like, being self-aware is an important thing to be authentic, because if you can't be self-aware about, like, how you feel about things, like, if you're not even aware of your own feelings or how you think about things, then that's probably not a good thing to being, like, authentic.
Yeah, I definitely take loyalty and being authentic to the
Right.
max.
What
Absolutely.
what did you think? Did you think that your like girlfriend or whatever was not being authentic then?
Yeah, that's
That's one
like
of the main pain
loyalty.
problems in your relationship.
Yes, loyalty and authenticity
Right. Okay, so you had the
is
loyalty
above
aspect maybe, but not the authenticity, and so that
and
caused problems.
yeah. So the turning off the locations and the I love yous, and I'd go to hell and back for you 1,000 times in
Right.
eternity, and the entire talk, and then a month later, after she's disconnecting emotionally after some arguments,
Yeah.
and now she's saying her love is it is unconditional, and that she will always love me, and there's not really anything that you'd have to do, something extreme,
Yeah. You
and
like
she's a
you,
big
you felt like you couldn't trust those words because you read her poetry and stuff. You sort of, like, saw into her thoughts basically, and they didn't line up with what she was saying.
Exactly. So,
Right.
like,
Okay.
the actions that she was outputting as her poetry did not line up with what she was telling me.
Why do you
Right?
feel like she wasn't, like, trying to be? Why do you feel like she wasn't open with you, basically?
Well, to be honest with you, we had a really rough first month, and it was basically like a breakdown, right? To see, like, what she was really capable of. Can she do this? Is she really independent? Does she really like this? Does she really not like this? It was like a almost like a hazing, It was like an emotional hazing, right? And so it's like things
Right.
just got really bad. But yeah, I'm not really sure.
You all got my type, by the way.
She feels
Okay.
like
Yeah. What was your highest percentage one? Just tell me.
ENTJ.
ENTJ. What's the next one?
ESTJ.
ESTJ. Okay. So ENTJ. That's, like, typically very efficiency-minded people. Would you agree with that?
100% good.
Yeah, okay. And then ESTJ is they're a bit, like, practical, like, they try to apply their theories into practice, basically, is what I'm hearing from you. Like, you come up with your own ideas about how to solve something more efficiently, and then you try to apply it. That's the S part.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's sort of like my dad's build, actually. He does the same sort of thing.
INTG is introverted.
INTJ, you mean?
The first one is always about which type of social behavior you exude, right?
No, the first one
where you
is
get your
is
energy
what
from.
was more likely to be. Oh yeah. First one is whether you're extroverted or introverted. So,
Yeah.
introverted people probably prefer like one-on-one discussions, like sort of like this, and then extroverted they probably prefer like 5 people VCs, like those public servers where people just like, or even more than like 5 is the minimum for them basically to get energy.
Dude, I'm like I just want to talk to people.
Yeah, that's why you have an E. That means you like to talk to people. Like introverted people would rather literally just be at home, like lie in their bed all day, probably most of the time.
Yeah, but they still probably like social interaction to an extent.
Yeah,
because they're
okay.
human.
Because humans are social creatures, but I'm saying like it's about how you socialize. Like, do you get energy from socializing, or is it more draining? If it's more draining, then you're
I definitely get home with more energy after like a good workout where I've communicated with my friends and in the gym and stuff, you know,
yeah.
talk to people. And then when I don't talk to anybody, I just simmer down and chillax. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. For me, I actually get tired from social interaction, and I have to recharge.
Really?
Like, yeah. But and you might be surprised by that. Um, it's
Not everybody's
actually
completely
it's
one-sided,
like
right?
the reason I socialize is to try and learn others' perspectives to further my own learning and further my own understanding of things. And because I learn the best by teaching. I like to teach concepts to people, and that like builds in my memory the ideas a lot stronger. Like, because there's sort of an emotional attachment to like teaching somebody something. It's like they might have benefited from you, and it feels like you've done a good thing for them, right? Like they might be able to improve their life based on what they learned.
I used to be a introvert before, and I changed.
Yeah. But your
lot.
your dominant function doesn't change even if you become more extroverted.
What is the dominant function?
I can send you hold on. I don't know if I made a channel for this.
In my stuff, it was efficiency and direction, plus competence. Those are like the top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I just added the channel. So this is MBTI and cognitive functions explained. You can look at your type on here. So you got ENTJ, and you can just see, does the description resonate with you, or does the like which one just resonates with you more?
Which one was mine again, bro? I forgot that. ENTJ?
You said ENTJ, yeah. And then the second one was ESTJ.
Yeah.
What would you say yours is, Cruz, by the way?
Sorry, what?
Your Myers-Briggs type, was it like INTJ or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah,
been a
okay.
minute since I've taken the
I
test.
would pattern you as one because like I know how they are. I've got a close friend who's one.
Yeah, I think that was what it was. It was
It's basically like, yeah. The difference between like my type, which is INFJ, and INTJ is INTJs. They think about like things like logically and empirically, and they don't naturally think about other people's feelings. Like, as an INFJ, I have extroverted feelings, as in like I think about how other people think about things, and it's also the difference between thinker types and feeler types. Feeler types are typically more future minded, and thinker types are more about the short term. So would you agree with that for yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Hardcore
right.
logical.
And so like when I look at your relationship, instead of like if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, okay, why is she not being open with me? Why does she feel like she's not open with me? Maybe we should start a dialogue about openness. Like, hey, why are your thoughts in the post? I'd be just honest and direct as well. Like, and then so in the longer, my plan in the longer term is that okay, maybe she'll open up to me more, and then maybe we can like understand each other a bit better about like why she feels like she has to write her poetry and hide it from me, basically.
Well, see, that in itself would just become an argument.
No. You have to learn how to be diplomatic as well. Then that means like learn how to be an active listener, listen to her side, and understand her perspective. Show her that you care, basically. The way like this is like the most general rule when it comes to dealing with women. Give them the boyfriend treatment. That's literally it. Okay, it doesn't matter what type of person you are. Give them the boyfriend treatment. Like the idea of the perfect boyfriend. How like you'd be understanding, you'd be caring, listen to their problems, and not get emotional. okay, and if you do get emotional, you don't take it out on her directly, like because that's an abusive sort of thing. Like okay, I'll give you an example. Like okay, I get really angry when somebody like doesn't listen to me, right? Right? Because I think what I'm saying is like an important advice and information for them, and so like, and I feel like I understand something. If I feel like I understand something, I feel like you should listen to my opinion on it, or like what you should do, right? My advice basically. And so if I did that, if I started getting mad because like let's say my wife wasn't listening to me, the bad thing to do would be to like start beating the shit out of her. If she's not a masochist, she probably wouldn't enjoy that. And also like it's not consensual, so unless like you had an agreement before, like if you ever get angry, take it out on me, like that sort of like romantic ideal, which probably doesn't exist in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But like if you understood that at the start of the relationship, then like you could still do that, right? But I'm saying like, okay, you get super angry, like okay, I'm not taking it out on her, but maybe I'm gonna like flip a table, and that's the way I'm gonna like take out my anger. And the thing is, women actually like that authenticity. Like you're angry and you take it out, right? And so like because women are very emotional creatures, right? And humans like what is it called, men are more like logical creatures who care about like logic and evidence for believing in things, right? And so like when I'm talking to a female, if I wanted to like convince them of something, like this is like the idea of debating. You have I might want to put like debate ideas.
There's a lot to read about the ENTJ.
Yeah, just read it and see if the description applies to you, maybe. So what was I saying? And like yeah, try and relate it to your real life and see if like does this match what I do in real life or does it not? Like like my way of thinking basically. You have to be self-aware about your way of thinking. Or like
I'm very, very reflective, dude.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing then.
I mean, people have at least told me that. I don't know.
I feel like Muslims do reflect a lot more than like the average type of people as well, yeah.
I was also very reflective before I became Muslim.
And so sorry, what was I saying? Okay, I forgot.
Surface level impact.
Do you remember what I was saying, Cruz? Oh, like okay, when you flip your shit, okay, yeah. So there's when talking to women, you have three different. No, when talking to humans in general, okay, you have three different appeals, right? Like so, logos, the emotion, the logical appeal. I might want to write this down. Okay. Hold on. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna just use my voice typing. Okay, so when talking to humans, you have three different appeals, basically. Logos, which is the logical appeal. And so this usually works with men. Like if you want a man to understand an idea, you should make sure every single statement you say is logically consistent and there are no logical inconsistencies between your current statement and your past statements. And so like in order to troll people in like video games, for example, a super easy way to mess with people, like mess with the guys, is just say something and then like the next round say like something completely different that contradicts it, and then they'd be like, wait, what? This guy just said something completely different. Right. And so the next one is pathos. Pathos is what's it called? The emotional appeal, basically. So like this is completely detached from logic. You could say something and somebody would believe you just because they felt like it's the right thing to believe in, right? So like for example, do you think that women believe in astrology more or less than men?
It's more frequent now.
Yeah. Women are more likely to assume, like even like identify with the type that they get, even though there's no logical reason to believe in zodiac signs, right? Because
they're more emotional.
Because they're more emotional, they're more likely to fall for like the mass delusion of like, because like what is the correlation between being born in a certain time and having a certain personality traits, or like having like horoscopes that like there's no correlation there that logically makes sense. And so when men look at this, they're like, women are clearly like stupid for believing in their zodiac sign and in terms of like personality. And so actually in a sort of like indirect way, zodiac signs influence women's psychology, and you can pattern women by zodiac signs because they're more emotional. So like if a woman is told like and they reinforce the like social norms, and they also extrapolate a lot like women. And so um if a woman is told like, oh, you're indecisive because you're a Gemini, do you think like she's more likely or less likely to believe that as a man? Because when I was told that as a child, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be indecisive anymore. I'm gonna just try and be as decisive as possible. Right?
Yeah, of course.
And so when it comes to like physical decisions, like if I saw my wife about to get like hit by a car, I'm gonna like run in there without even thinking, right? Like in terms of like my physical aspect. But then when it comes to important decisions, I like to think about those a lot. So I've got like sort of two different ways of thinking about things.
Sometimes, making decisions faster will sometimes lead to a better outcome.
I think
That's
risk taking might actually be correlated with like high testosterone as well. Like if you just
I know that's why.
yeah.
You know, that's exact. Like I've researched this before. You know, men are usually more likely to be better leaders in multi-billion-dollar companies because we have more testosterone. Therefore, we are better at making decisions on a whim.
And also yeah, because men make decisions based on logic typically.
Risk takers. We're more logically based,
Yeah,
not as emotional.
that's a good point.
Also, testosterone sometimes correlates with higher IQs. It's a little bit of a taboo study though, but there is some evidence suggesting that. What else? But then again, like women, bro, they're way better at taking care of people and, you know, resonating with everybody because they just know how to read you better than vice versa. But that is often also correlated with a a lot of people think that women have a higher emotional intelligence than men.
They typically understand emotions better, from what I understand.
Yeah,
But
the thing is, that is not the only thing that defines emotional intelligence.
yeah.
It's also
No,
self-control.
because I think it depends on the type of woman. So like again in Myers-Briggs types, we have feelers versus the thinkers. And so feelers are more longer term thinking, and thinkers are more short term, like caring about short term gain and stuff like that. And so typically children are very much like short term thinkers, unless they had like some really traumatic upbringing and they're thinking like, I want to get out of the situation, so I might think in the long term, right?
Yeah.
Or like if
But
somebody taught them the
like
ideas of like
they're
you should care about the consequences in the long run rather than you should care about short term gains and pleasures and pain.
because their frontal cortex isn't fully, no, prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed.
Oh, right. Is that the reason you think? Prefrontal cortex.
100%.
I'll look into that actually.
Because the prefrontal cortex is the decision-making part of our brain, the one that, you know, thinks if our decision is good based on rational decision-making skills,
Right, yeah.
and also has experiences with the same types of decisions.
Yeah, so typically when I meet people who are like the ENTP type, I find that they're actually pretty like high in IQ, but because they're thinkers rather than feels, like T instead of F, they typically think in the short term. And so I ask them about their diet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I drink steak, and I eat steak, and I drink energy drinks." And I'm like, "Okay, the steak is healthy. That makes sense, and that's like pretty smart to eat steak, right? Because the rich people eat steak, right? And so if the rich people are eating steak, they probably understand diet a lot better than us." But when we talk about like
energy drinks.
Yeah, energy drinks, like what is that? Like that's processed sugar, that's caffeine, like a neurotoxin. But
Caffeine is not terribly bad for you, by the way. Just
no, caffeine is very bad for you.
not terribly.
It is.
There is no. There are a lot of positive health benefits to it too.
There are no positive health benefits to caffeine. There's
There's
maybe
definitely
there's
more
maybe
positive.
cognitive benefits, but like only
No,
because you're
not only
stressing out
that.
your brain. I feel like
When you're like, for instance, when you drink sugar-free energy drinks, your body's metabolism rises.
I'm talking about
which
biochemistry
means
here, like
you burn more
the impact on your body,
with the
basically.
brain. Of course, but caffeine is not horribly bad for you still.
Oh, okay, welcome back, Chris. By the
In
way,
terms of what
could you
way are
guys
you
like follow
thinking?
my Twitch channel? I'm trying to get like more viewers and stuff.
Dude, I followed you.
Oh, okay, thank you. I should add it as a connection on my channel. I mean, on my profile. Hold on.
You also get a physical and performance boost, which helps you work out better.
Right.
May lower the risks of Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, and dementia.
Yeah, but
too.
I just want to talk about like,
Plus,
okay, where does caffeine come from?
anti-diabetes.
It comes from either tea or coffee, right? Like in natural source. I would only ever have it in like a whole food natural sense, right?
It also comes from cocoa powder.
Okay,
in a
sure, cocoa
different
powder as
form.
well, but in a smaller amount,
Yeah.
right?
It's like a caffeine type that is more slower acting.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about the functionality of caffeine.
No,
not where it comes from.
I don't care about the functionality. I don't care about the utility as a drug. I'm talking about the sources themselves. Are they something that humans should be eating?
Why are you talking about the sources when we're talking about
No,
one specific
because
chemical
okay,
within the
from my perspective, we should not be eating any sort of processed foods, and so I don't care about like energy drinks.
So you don't want to drink milk as well?
No, I'll drink milk because that's that's in the Quran. Okay, so also I
But
have
milk is processed.
hold on, I want to write this down.
What happened?
Okay, so you know, as Muslims, we have certain foods that have been listed in the Quran, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so milk is one of them. We've been told that milk is filtered blood, and also this is a scientifically provable fact. And we've also been told that milk is good and like nourishing for the drinker.
Yeah, but milk is processed nowadays. If you're buying, for instance.
Okay, and I drink raw milk, so don't assume about my diet.
but raw milk is. Where do you live?
I live in Australia, and the raw milk I get is organic. It's from Jersey cows, so it's A1 and A2 proteins, and it's raw, unheated, saturated fats, so it's good. Like the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time, they used to literally drink raw milk as well. Like it's not something dangerous for humans.